So I wanna let's give folks a little backstory, just about, you know what I'm saying, your childhood, just growing up. You know what I'm saying, what it was like, maybe some sports you might have played, or you know what I'm saying, some stuff like that. Some high schools you went to, middle schools you went to.
People think like, they think I'm from Scribble County.
Okay.
And I can understand where they get it from, cause my mama, my uncles, my grandma, everybody, they from there. You feel me? My first like 3 to 4 years I stayed there myself, but I moved to Little Ice when I was like 4. So from then on, I'm from Statesboro. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they get the confusion, like I'm from Scribble. Okay. I went back to high school there like in 9th grade, but before that I'm still in Statesboro and other places. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But shit, like coming up, I was playing sports and shit. Like my uncles and shit, they were fellas and shit, and I ain't really want to be like that. Like I wasn't even smoking no weed or nothing like that. Like coming up and shit like that. Like I really playing sports for like the rec department and shit like that. Basketball, running a little track shit, and football and shit like that. I wanted to make it with that shit. But you know, shit started happening. My grandma died when I was like 13, 14, and when that happened, I stopped caring about a lot of shit. I didn't give a fuck about nothing really. So, but in the same time of that, like that was in middle school type shit. The same year she died, or the year after that, I moved to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And that shit be different. Like it's one thing to go to another school the next county over, but out a whole nother state, like not knowing who you is and shit like that, like it's gonna be competition. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to fight these folks, you're gonna have to all kind of shit, like. But I look at all that shit like all the shit I went through at a young age made me a better nigga who I am today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit was like school wasn't really talking about nothing to me. Half of that shit I was teaching my damn self. Once I heard it one time, besides like history and shit, like math and science, I didn't hear that shit one time, teach myself, I'm gonna shoot for like a C and get the fuck out y'all face. That how I was on, bro. I wasn't even trying to really feel me.
So like while you was in school, like in high school per se, like what was you reaching out to do once you finished? Like, you know what I'm saying, what you had planned?
Let me tell you some real shit. I only finished high school because my mama was a teacher. That's the only reason I finished high school. Cause she was a teacher and I didn't want her to look bad like her kid didn't graduate.
So
I didn't give a fuck about that shit. But I graduated from I turned to school like 5-6 months early. Count, like. But really, like, I turned to school because when I came back from Texas, people fucked up. Like, down here is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back from Texas, the criteria they was on was like way ahead of Georgia shit. You feel me?
Right.
So instead of them just giving me my credits I already had gained from them, they didn't want to do me that. They took all my shit and made me start all the way over. That my senior year. You feel me? Cause like my 11th grade year in Texas really gave me, when I got back, really gave me all my senior classes. Like I really was done when I got back. To the state of Georgia, like how I was balanced, I was really done. Like I could have graduated my 11th grade year, but you know they gonna work one.
For sure. Alright, so man, back to the music. Do you remember your first song you ever recorded or ever wrote?
My first song I ever wrote, I ain't never recorded. I lost that shit. I broke the phone it was on. I don't remember what that shit was called. But the first song I recorded, it was either this song called Hard on the Block or Letter to Polo. I want to say it was Hard on the Block. My uncle Travis, this is my grandma's oldest son. He got a friend named Keon. They call him K.O. He an older dude, he rapping shit.
Okay.
He stayed on Count. He used to let me come rapping his own. When I first started recording music, it was the end of 2017 or early 18. Feel me? He had like a little setup in his living room and shit. He was letting me come in there and record. But it didn't really keep me motivated because I really couldn't work like I wanted to work. So I dropped it like on SoundCloud and shit. Like I lost the link and all that shit. Like them the first 2 songs I recorded, but I don't even know where they at right now.
So alright, so as far as like rappers, like who you look up to, like who inspired you? You know what I'm saying? As far as like rapping.
As rapping, who inspired me? The only rapper to inspire me for real was Kevin Gates.
Okay.
Feel me? Only because of who he reminded me as of another artist, like Bobby Womack.
Right.
That's my favorite entertainer. Only because of who he is. Like, I feel like Bobby Womack, the type of nigga he was, he paved the way for a lot of niggas today to say what they want to say.
Right.
On the song, like, not necessarily saying like he was on the song like fuck 12 and I killed you nigga, woo woo woo, but he just made different type of songs. Like, for me, like, he just made songs that even today now niggas like they ain't even trying to make. Like, he was giving that real out. Like,
right.
Home made a song about his best friend wife. You know what I'm saying? And it went crazy. Like, people was playing that song. And I was like, wow. So really, I could say whatever I want to say as long as I believe it.
How about a little music to count me money to?